We are live. Welcome, welcome everybody to this.
Hi.
Woo, we got guys hopping in. We just went live. We're in the Sisters United Hangout, and today our topic is overcoming fear and self-sabotage. But first, before we get into that topic, we're going to go across the board, introduce ourselves one by one, and those of you watching, shout out, in the comments below where you're watching from, and even if you're watching this in the replay. Because I'll tell you right now, our intention is our intention is that we are together. We are time and space really don't have that much meaning because we are all one. We're all connected. We are all very much connected. So I want you to feel, even as you're watching this in the replay, that you are here with us live because your energy really is an intention, and it really is. And we do go back in and we check in on the page. So I'll start quickly. I am Valerie Jampolsky. I am the Abundance Entrepreneur. From Abundance Now, I am a single mom of 5-year-old boys. I'll give my usual naked kid alert. I think they are passed out, but I don't think they're coming in. It's 8 o'clock in the morning here. They were up late, couldn't get them down to sleep last night. It's 8 o'clock in the morning here in Los Angeles, and I'm here, and I'm just a little bit about my story. Is I was an entertainment attorney. I left it in order to be able to be home with my kids, so that I could be there for all the precious moments and be able to talk about things that really matter to me, that really, for me, provide value, like intense provide value, like the topics, some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about today. And I'm also going to introduce you here. I got my friend here. Say hi. This is Kathy.
Hi, I'm Kathy Burns. I'm known as the Grandma on the Go, and my fan page is Grandma's Rock On. And so that's kind of the direction I'm coming from. I'm a grandma of 17.
My story is I was an entertainment attorney. I left. Someone can mute out their page. There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah. I can be able to talk about things that really matter to me. That really might be you, hun, because it started when you moved on. Maybe mute for a second and close the other page. Like the topic, some of the stuff. There you go. All right, cool. Got it.
Okay, so I'm a mom of 6, all of them grown. I have 17 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren, and I get such a kick out of the fact that Valerie and I are only 10 years apart in age, but I have a great-grandchild the same age as her children.
Yeah.
So I was at home with my great-grandson before leaving on the trip to come here, and then got to spend time with her 2 precious little guys. So, I've been having a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we all just recently went to this amazing event, and two amazing events in Las Vegas. A lot of us, and we'll be talking a little bit about some of our experiences and overcoming fear of what happened, some of the stuff that we did, and challenging ourselves there for some of us. So I'm going to pass it on now. I'm actually going to go left to right on what the panel is looking for me. That may not make sense to you guys on the panel, but here we go. That means you, CJ, are up.
Yay! Hey everyone, it's CJ and I live in Spring Hill, Florida. I am a very proud mom of 3 extremely energetic boys, which I'm sure you're hearing in the background right now. They're 9, 6, and 3, and I am a stay-at-home mom. I'm with them 24 hours a day, and I'm just so blessed and so happy to be able to explore every milestone. Every milestone with them. And never be left alone, and never have to worry about putting them in daycare or missing out on any of their adventures. And yesterday we woke up and just felt like going to the pool, so we packed a bag, put on our bathing suits, and went and grabbed a pizza and some drinks, and we spent the whole day at the pool. And just to have that freedom lifestyle just makes me extremely happy and so blessed, and you can't replace that as far as I'm concerned when you have children.
Absolutely. And we're going to going across. Becky, you just topped in. I'll come back to you at the end. I'm going to go across to Elizabeth.
Hello.
Hi. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear everyone. Oh,
there's 2 Elizabeths.
Yes, I'm Elizabeth as well.
Elizabeth Bowers.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hi to the other Elizabeth.
Hi.
I'm Elizabeth Bowers. I live in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania in the USA, and I am the mom of 4 special needs children ranging in age from 23 to 22 to 15 to 11. 3 of them just had birthdays in the last month, so I have to remember who's who. And we take things day by day, and I love the fact that being part of this group and working with these women enables me to do the things that I want to do with them, coming in and day out, no matter what the schedules are. And back to you guys.
All right, and I'm going over to Gabrielle, beautiful Gabrielle.
Hey, hello everyone. I'm really excited to be here. In fact, I had some chocolate today which had sugar in, which I don't do, and I'm literally like, I don't know how I'm going to get to sleep tonight because I'm not used to having it in my body. So yeah, I'm in Australia, Perth, and it is, what is it, 20 past or something, 20 past 11, and yeah, so I'm really excited to be on the panel with everyone. I have two children, a 2-year-old boy and a 4-year-old girl, and I started this business to be home with them and to have more freedom in our lives. So and freedom is, for me, is just having that choice to do what we want to do when we want to do it, and just kind of be where we want to be. And yeah, that's a little bit about me, and we've got quite a few on the panel today, so I'll leave it at that for now, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Okie doke, passing it on to Joan. Come on out, Joan.
Hey, everybody.
There you go.
Okay. I am Joan Dizon, and I'm coming from Dallas, Texas. I am a stay-at-home mom of 3 boys. Just like CJ, I know how crazy your life is. My oldest is 5, 3, and 1. So it's amazing to be able to stay home with them, and I am always so grateful to be on this panel of wonderful sisters here that are so inspiring, so uplifting, and just have the same vision as I do of freedom. And gosh, I forgot what else I was going to say. But I love doing this because not just the freedom and to stay home with the kids, but I love doing this because I'm trying to get my husband home as well. So for us to all be together as a family and to live our life of freedom as a family is so awesome. So back to you guys. Love y'all.
Thank you, Joan. And now going over to Lucy.
Hi, can you hear me now?
I can totally hear you now.
You can. Yeah, you can hear me now. Yeah. Oh, it's my laptop's playing it. Hi, I'm Lucy. I live in Wales. Hyper excited today. I'll tell you why a little later, but I'm very excited today. Lovely to see you all ladies again. It's great to see your faces again. I've got 3 boys. Most of them are nearly grown up now, and 1 grandchild. I'll tell you a little bit more about my day later. Pass it on.
All right. Moving over to Michelle.
Make sure I'm unmuted. Hello, everybody. I'm Michelle, the comfy mom. I am in Texas as well, in San Antonio, just kind of close to Joan. We're going to have to make a visit out to see you because we are pretty close. I'm doing this. I just want to have that freedom in my life as well and help others find it in their lives. And whether it's, just personal freedom, stay at home, be with your kids, to retire their husband early, whatever that is. But for me, more it's internal. It's freedom from what we were talking about today, and that's fear, and overcoming any obstacle that would restrict us from living our purpose. So I enjoy this opportunity so much more, just to share my story and to help others achieve that freedom in their life and whatever that freedom is that they're looking for. So anyway, I'll pass it on to the next person.
Pass it on. Now I'm going to bring up the other Elizabeth. Elizabeth, come on out.
Good. Can everyone hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, so hello, it's my first time on the panel, so if I make mistakes, bear with me. I'm Elizabeth, I'm from the UK, I live in London, and I have 2 kids, a boy of almost 4 years old and a girl of 9 months. And I am on maternity leave at the moment, but I'm in the process of leaving my job because I realized it's just not feasible. I didn't want to spend a life just, picking up the kids and then just saying, brush your teeth, eat your food, and go to bed. I didn't want to do that for the next 18 years. And I'm very, very happy because with this job, with this system, I can express myself with a lot of things I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
So I have the platforms where I can, I'm a natural mama, so I do things like, breastfeeding, co-sleeping, reusable nappy, all these kind of things. And to be able to like talk about them and, talk about my passion and, do what I really love, and it's a job. Wow. It makes things really, really great. And I feel so grateful that I took action. Because, I've been following this group for a couple of years and, I wasn't sure what it was all about, but I decided to just, look more into it and just take action. And I'm here today and I can't believe it. Really, I'm having a meeting with lovely, lovely people. I'm surrounded by really they always tend to say that women are envious of each other and things like that, but it's been really amazing. Lovely, lovely people, down to earth, very helpful, and I feel really blessed and grateful. And even though I've not met you people in real world, it's as if, I know you and I'm part of you, and I talk a lot, I know, but
Wow.
I'm very happy, yeah. Very happy, yeah.
I love it. I'm so excited to have you here on the panel, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Thank you.
Coming from a co-sleeping, breastfed my kids till 3.5 years, Mama. I'm with you, girl. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go, and last on our panel hopping on was Becky. Come on in, Becky. Woo!
So hey, good morning. Hey, I'm from Sydney, Australia. I'm originally from Wales, so shout out to the TAF in the morning here in Sydney. Bit of a night out at the moment, but yeah, I've got 2 beautiful boys. They're 7 and 8. I'm passionate. I guess, I'm just really excited to join. It's only been, Gabrielle, 4 or 5 weeks, not that long ago, but it's almost like giving me a platform. It's like the cherry on top of the cake. I teach movement to create freedom in the body. I teach meditation to create freedom in the mind. And now I have like the system for women, and I'm, empowering women as well, So yeah, I'm really excited. Like, all of you are just beautiful soul-driven divas. It's beautiful to actually just feel that deep connection with women on that deep level. Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. And multicultural, like it just doesn't matter. Like, we've just got such diversity, and we're all just so unique and beautiful. So a big thing what I do is about body image, and so there's so much stuff there. So I guess it's just fine-tuning it and just sharing my passion. That's it.
Love it, love it.
And I will get some sleep at some point. This is like 3 hours sleep for the last 4 days. Every day, 3 hours. That's it.
Love it, Becky. I'm just gonna quickly go. I'm gonna look here on the panel page and see, or who's got the page open? Anybody there who's got the page open? Go take a look. Who's got the page open right now?
There is no comments. We have a hello from a Leslie. We have a hello from Ellen. We have a hello from Arana Martina. I'm sorry if I messed that up. And we have a hello from Lucy. Hey, Lucy. And that is it so far.
Hey, cool. Anybody else, if you're hopping on, even if you're hopping on late, say hi, say where you're from, even if you're watching it in the replay. So I'm going to go dive right into our topic now, which is overcoming fear and self-sabotage. And I'm going to talk about a piece that is just so fresh in my mind, and for some of us here that went through this recently, and then everybody else will have have our takeout and go across the panel and discuss. And same thing, and if anybody watching, if you have any comments, any questions, anything at all you want to add to the conversation, please put it in the chat. We will be going through and looking to see and bringing you into the conversation as well. So. And by the way, also, we all happen to be moms on right now. The Sisters United is not all just moms. It's like, and we have other women in our group that are not all moms. Just so you know, this is not just all for moms. It just happens to be we got all moms on the panel today. So Recently, I went through something really powerful, and CJ was right there with me, actually, and like literally right there with me. And we were at this incredible event, a couple of events. One of them, the first one was called Women of Bliss, and part of that, we did this. We did a couple of NLP. I don't know if you're familiar with that, neuro-linguistic programming, but we did a couple of exercises, and that were about stepping into your power and about really adjusting from an emotional place, a negative emotional place, to pulling in a positive emotional place. It was an NLP exercise that we did right before doing this. So any of you that have any opportunity to ever get in touch with any of that, it's an incredible, powerful technique. Or get to our next Women of Bliss event. Stay connected. All of us will be able to give you information on it. But for me, I had set some powerful intentions within that process. We did within the processes that we did, and there's always new levels that we can always go to. We're always growing. I feel like for me, I am always growing. I can always have a better relationship with my kids. I can always have a better, everything. The way I handle things in my life, my organization, and with my business. No matter where you are, there's always another level. And I had set some powerful intentions, and we had this thing, and I wasn't even supposed to go at the last second. Dee, who's on our panel often, Dee invited us, and invited me to join at the last second. And we went, and I don't know if any of you have gone, but in Vegas there's a building off the top of the stratosphere. And CJ, how many stories up with that sucker? How high was that thing?
855 feet.
855 feet. And I'm one of those people that I don't even walk to the edge of a balcony. I didn't say anything to anyone because I knew if I said something out loud about what was going on inside, I wasn't going to do it. I said, this is it. Somehow I'm going to do this. And it's a physical thing, but it was a representative that's now affecting what I do and everything that I do. I did this thing where, and I'm hoping my story in this will help some folks with this. I focused on, I first of all watched other people doing it. So anything like with this business, I'm sure Elizabeth, you're watching us. You watched us for a while to say, to make that jump, to make that leap, right? To join something, to step outside your comfort zone, right? And I watched everybody else. A lot of them, you'd see it on the screen. I watched them coming down, and I started to do a meditation where I saw myself doing it. Before I did it, I saw myself going through the steps. I saw myself putting on the jumpsuit. I saw myself having them, attach me up and do all these things. I saw myself, and I started imagining myself out on that ledge. And I watched it from the ground as they were coming down. I watched people get dressed. I watched it like there was, I watched it, and I saw myself doing it. And I don't know if anybody watched, there's a book called the Psycho-Cybernetics, or the New Psycho-Cybernetics. This is a technique, actually, that a lot of the top athletes do, but this is what I did. I watched myself do it, and I did this meditation. And I was up with CJ, and she decided to go off backwards, and she'll tell you what her thing was on it. But for me, it was like a massive thing, because I have fears of other stuff, and it was always control issues with my body. And for me to decide, because in order to go backwards, they have to push you off, and you don't have control of the moment of when it happens. And I had to just allow it to happen. Say, okay, I'm good and I'm safe. And when I went out, I did this very powerful meditation where I was just literally communicating with the universe all the way down. Just going, feeling my oneness, at oneness with everything, and feeling that everything was working together for my good. It's so powerful now that I actually have flashes of that moment that come to me, where I'm looking out over all the lights and the stars. It looks like the stars in the night and the lights of the city and everything, and feeling this incredible feeling of connection, that everything is working together for my good. And that's one of the most powerful things. For me, that's what it was, is really having that awareness, because it really is. Everything is working together for our good. And when I can remember that and remember who I really am and the power of who I really am, because we all unique, powerful beings, we're all connected. We are not all this negative stuff and all these negative ideas that are floating out there. And I just made a powerful intention to stay with that. And when I landed, it was this total exuberance that I'd done this. And it's now affected how I communicate with my kids. It affects what I'm doing in my life, and within days afterwards, even in my business, I was doing the same things. More sales started coming in. Things just started, amazing things started to happen, and I feel it was directly for me doing this extremely powerful experience of making a point of literally not even listening to those fearful voices and doing what I did. So I was a bit, but I'm gonna pass it on. I don't know if we want to do this across the board. Just logically, I'm going to pull up CJ, and then we'll go across the board, because she was the one. She jumped right before me. We did this together.
Yes, Val, we did. It was out of all of the moms and I could have been grouped up with to go to the tower. It's just we've been through so much together, and I could not have asked for a better person to be grouped up with, because it was great for the both of us. We worked together. We were able to feed off of each other. And I've done zip lining before, but zip lining, you're attached and you're not that far off the ground. You're only a few feet, not 855 feet, and you're not going straight down. You're riding a line. So this was a lot different for me, and the same as you, Val. I didn't tell anyone that I was afraid, because if I told them I was afraid, then I would have set myself up for that fear. And I chose to go off backwards because this was a jump to a new life. It was a jump to a new person. It was a jump to a new passion within yourself. So for me, I chose to go off backwards so that I could say goodbye to the olds, because once you hit that free fall zone, you flipped around, it flipped you. And that's because I noticed that by watching people. When they would jump, they would go off backwards, and then once the line caught them, they would flip forward. So I knew that the gravitational pull would automatically turn me. So I jumped backwards to say goodbye to the old, and then when it turned me, I was saying hello to the new as I was falling face first to the ground. So, and I knew once my feet hit the ground that there was no turning back for me. Because being an only child, I've never had siblings, I've never had the companionship, I've never had sisters, point of being Sisters United. So I've never had that bonding before, and I've always felt like the odd one. I've always felt like the one that was left out. I've always had the fear of being alone, and ever since that jump there, it's weird. It's like you experience a whole transformation of not being alone anymore, not being afraid anymore, and just knowing that there's other people that are there for you now. And watching all 21 of us women jump together was by far probably the most motivational, inspirational jump I've ever gone through in my life. And I don't mean literally, but it was just to say goodbye and to know that it was gone for good, and to just go through those meditations and those exercises prior to heading on that shuttle. It just helped everything a lot more with the NLP. So, and I got to do the exercises prior in the day before the ladies at the Women of Bliss did it. So I had already started my day with the NLP exercises before the event even started. So I had already gone through the whole day, and then watching all of your wonderful ladies go through it, it opens a door. It opens your mind. It helps you clear your vision for what is truly possible within yourself as a person.
Yeah. That's so powerful. I would have never known you had anything either. Yeah. So I'm gonna pass it on over to Elizabeth. Here we go. Elizabeth Boweries.
Okay, I'm focusing on two different things. I apologize. So what are we doing right now?
Right now we're going through the topic of overcoming fear and self-sabotage.
I guess in regards to me, a lot of the fear that I deal with on an everyday basis is putting forth and doing for my family by myself. I've been married twice, and over the span of those two marriages, let's see, 17 and 25 years, and even if at different times the guys weren't that helpful with what was going on, it was nice to know that there was somebody else there. And even though there isn't somebody there, you tend to second guess yourself more when you're responsible, not just for yourself, but for other people. And it's much scarier because if it was just you, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because you're just dealing with your personal issues. You can take care of yourself. You can do this. You can do that. But every time you make a decision, once you have children, that decision impacts other people. And you're responsible for all those other people. And it's the scariest thing ever because you know that if you make the wrong decision, it's going to negatively impact those children. And every single one of us, I guess if we all have children here, we deal with this every single day, and we don't think about the fact that this is what we're dealing with. It's in the back of our head. It's something that's programmed into us, both, emotionally and chemically and everything else. It's just something that's there. And I know that the times when I get overwhelmed, it's not necessarily because I'm afraid of stuff for myself. It's afraid of the impact I'm going to have on my children. And so that is a huge, huge stumbling point. But then I have to do the whole what if thing. Well, what if I don't do this? How is it going to impact them? If I don't do this, what's the negative impact going to be there? Well, how do I turn it into a positive? If I do this, what are the benefits they're going to get out of it? And it's something that I have to do every single day, because if you don't do it that way, you're going to fall down and not want to do anything at all. And it's the hardest thing that we do every single day as a mother, because we are always looking out for those children. It's not just us anymore. We're always worried about what's going to happen with these kids and how we can better improve their lives. And I think, in all honesty, that's the biggest fear I have at any given time. I mean, I can turn around and start any I want. Even with the business, I've been learning all the law of attraction. We did the neuro-linguistic programming with Women of Bliss the other day. I, believe it or not, I have PTSD, and it was very, very difficult for me being in the event with all those hundreds of people, with all the yelling and the shouting, because it makes me very violent. And there's this thing that I learned. There's a puffy part right at the top of your thumb, and it's a nervous system point. And what you do is you take the nail, I don't know if you can see this, but you take the nail on one of your fingers and you push into that puffy part of your thumb, and you constantly push it. And what it does is it keeps you from freaking out. It sounds silly, but doing that, we're in the middle of doing the exercise that Dee had gone over with us about calming down and being ready to learn. And there's a lady behind me that's yelling at me because I'm not doing the arm movements at the same time as we're breathing. Do you think it would be beneficial? I'm like, I am doing it. I'm not doing the arm movements because I don't find that that's necessary. And the whole time I'm doing this even quicker because it's so loud and there's so many people going on and so many people talking at the same time. And I know that with my PTSD, I'm going to flip out. Literally flip out. So I've got my boyfriend on the one side of me. I've got Lucy on the other side of me. I'm curled up into my boyfriend's shoulder, trying not to lose my temper and doing this the whole time. And not once. Lucy will tell you, I didn't flip out one time. And, it's this huge achievement for me to get to that point with the PTSD. Val, I've been in domestic violence situations, and when the PTSD comes in, you don't necessarily reason things out. But I knew I was going into that situation. I knew what to expect from that situation, and I did everything I could to keep control over where my head was. I didn't flip out one time. I got as much as I possibly could out of every single speaker, and I had a wonderful time with all of you that were there, and Lucy and Agnes, and I was talking to Michelle once in a while in a blue moon and seeing CJ, and I mean, everybody was there and helpful, and I did lose it once at Women of Bliss, and Dee and Justin took care of me. It wasn't a bad losing it. It was just an emotional breakthrough thing in regards to my mom. But you would not believe, to the top of your thumb is a major, major pinpoint. If you feel like you're going to get upset and lose your mind or whatever it is you're doing, you just push on that and it actually calms you down. It's a huge help. And I'm going to let somebody else go right now because I'm babbling.
No, you're not babbling, and that's so powerful. That's a great tip, especially because, with some folks, if we're in a habit, if we've developed a habit, and that's exactly what it is. A fear is a habit. it's because it's anything that, I'm just going to say is thoughts. Negative thoughts are not connected to reality. The reality, if you have a feeling, if it's a negative feeling that you have, any kind of feeling inside that's connected to a negative thought, all that is not connected to reality with a capital R. Because reality with a capital R is we are love, we are beauty, we are joy, we are abundance, we are, who we really are isn't that. And it's like buying into negative thoughts that create literally like a groove of a habit. And what happens when we're in those negative thoughts is toxic chemicals literally get dumped into our system. Our left and right hemisphere can't talk to each other properly. We are in our reptilian brain at that point. We're not in our frontal cortex. We're in our reptilian brain, which is fight or flight. And it's really, when we say you're out of your mind, you literally are out of your mind. We're not utilizing as human beings. We have a frontal cortex. We have all that. When we're in this positive state, that's what we're in. So Elizabeth, that is so cool to have something physical that we can, with our bodies, click, and it's like a pattern interrupt, whatever it does neurologically, to maybe separate from that, get out of that reptilian mind, to be able to allow us to start to really think clearly and go into using some of the other skills and stuff there. I didn't know.
And the nice thing about it is that you can do it, and you can do it on the side of your body. You can do it in front of you, and who's going to notice? It's a tiny, tiny little movement, and it's something that you can do to reset yourself and not necessarily draw attention to yourself as you're doing it.
Well, a powerful thing is if you're doing that, you're actually acknowledging the fact that you're having these negative things that are not necessarily connected to reality. All the noise has got nothing to do with it. There's part of you that knows that. So the fact that you're even doing that is something, because you're separating yourself, your real self, from the craziness, from all that stuff of the reactions. And that in of itself is such a powerful thing. If you remember to do this, that means you're separated. You actually get excited about the fact that you've separated yourself from the negative thoughts, and that can raise your vibration and bring you back into stability. It's so powerful on so many levels. Thank you for sharing that. It's so cool. I'm going to pass on over to my panelist, Gabrielle. But if anybody at any point has anything that they want to jump out specifically on anything that anybody is saying, I wished I'd had that years ago. You just taught me. So cool. Before I knew anything.
Thanks, Valerie.
Yeah.
Yeah, such an awesome, powerful subject, and I think we're all, all over the world, as you can see, but we've actually all been going through this process of releasing these fears at the moment, and that's just what I love about being connected so close to all these women, because we literally are going through all the same stuff. It's so cool. When we're coming from fear, it hinders us. It stops us where we want to be. And so many of us live in fear. We're kind of programmed that way. I tried to explain this morning. I want to try and do it again. But we're kind of conformed. We go to college, we go to school, we get a job, and we're kind of stuck in that way, and anything that kind of deviates from the plan, it's just kind of we've been taught to be scared of that, because it's not how things are meant to be, apparently. We're not meant to kind of deviate, and when you start to do that, you do kind of start to get that fear, and you think, oh no, I can't do that, this is so different to where all these people are. For example, I've been working as a nurse for 6 or 7 years now, and it's so a certain way, and to have these sort of entrepreneurial thoughts and conversations with people at work, it's just a really different conversation. And some people kind of are like, what are you doing? Some people love it but wouldn't do it themselves. It's okay, well, you enjoy that kind of life, but yeah, I'm happy kind of just staying in line with everybody else. And that's kind of the fear that so many of us are in. But when you start to break away from that, you start realizing that you're living from love instead. You're living from those good thoughts in your mind. And when you start doing that, say you make a decision and it makes you feel good, and you kind of this is a really nice feeling, and you stay there. other thoughts pop into your head. And the idea of living from love is that you keep those thoughts coming and you act on them. You don't let those fear thoughts come in the way, because then you're kind of going to get knocked back down again. So, I mean, that's what I've been doing lately, and you just kind of end up like flying around, and you're like, I don't want to get knocked off this disc, so I'm just going to keep up here flying around in all these happy thoughts, and more happy things come to you. And it's such an awesome way to live, and I just love that I'm on this journey with everyone doing it at the same time. We're just all growing so much. Like, it's about having that open mind that anything is possible, because it truly is. And it's like when you start believing that, more stuff comes to you that's meant to come. It's, I don't know, I'm kind of like, how do I explain this? It's so kind of deep. Wow. Hold on. Let me check my little notes.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, actually. I won't go too much more into it, but I will recommend a film called The Shift. Like, Wayne Dyer, I'm just obsessed with him at the moment. And I watched it a while ago, near the beginning of when I started this business, actually, and which was obviously the perfect time to watch it. But I just sent it out to my list. So if you were on my email list, you would have got a YouTube link to it. But search on YouTube, because you can actually watch it for free. And yeah, watch it. It's so awesome. And just listen to what he says. And yeah, if you watch it now, you were meant to watch it now. So yeah, go and check it out. And there's heaps of them on here. So I'll let the other ladies jump in.
The shift.
Yeah.
I love it. And watching you and everything, just watching everything that's happening for you. And I'm so excited to see you in Bali. What is it? How many days? I know you got the countdown going. What is it?
I kind of stopped my countdown. It's like 13 days till I go, I think. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
So excited. So excited. I cannot wait to give everyone hugs and just, yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Cool. All right, I'm going to pass it on over to Joan. Joan, you're up. Ah! Oh, unmute, hun.
I got it.
There you go.
Cool. Yeah, like what everybody was saying, I love what Gabrielle said about fear, and then trying to shift your mind to more positive, feel-good things. I know it sounds, when you say it, just sounds kind of like fluff, I guess, but when you really focus on things that make you feel good, and then attach it on to more things that make you feel good, and just build and build and build from there, that's definitely just turned my life around, because I think I've shared this on other hangouts before, but when a thought of fear or doubt would come into my head, I would go into like this downward spiral from there, and it's so hard to get yourself back up. And I wanted to pose this question out to you guys. And I love how Elizabeth shared, this motion. For me, because usually when I have some type of fear, I tend to I tend to get angry, and like I said, a lot of things just spiral down. And then for me to catch myself, I really kind of have to I lock myself in the bathroom and just kind of reassess everything and try and pull yourself together before you get back out. So I want to see what are some other things out there that you can, most of these ladies, we all have kids, so what are some things that you quickly do so that you can turn that around in an instant? Because sometimes it is, when you're not used to doing it, it's hard to get yourself out from that downward spiral. So I wanted to pose that question out to all you ladies too. And like I said, one thing for me is I kind of go off, lock myself into a bathroom and breathe for a little bit, and then I come back out. And with me, when I have my kids around, just to sit on the couch and close your eyes and breathe for a little bit, I think it helps me too. So I wanted to see what all you guys do as well.
Okay, very quickly, we had some things that people jump. Okay, Becky.
Okay.
Becky, because you're going in the chat here. It's like boom, boom, boom. Come on
Sorry,
up.
sorry to change it up on y'all, but just wanted to see.
Come on
But
up.
that's what I do, and that's what.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because Becky's like she's furious and she's typing all this stuff in our personal little chat here. I was like, come on out, Becky. You're on.
Hey, how you doing? So yeah, I wouldn't say now. I'd say now I'm in a place where there's nothing that I feel fearful of, unless there was a lion running into the room, and a tiger, and I needed to get out of the way quick. I guess because I lived in a place of pain daily for many years, in depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, stress. I'm not even going into it because it's just just a blah. It's stuff. The fear stuff created a lot of.
Is Becky cutting in and out for everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, Becky Hunt, I'm not quite sure why, but we really want to hear what you're saying, but it's cutting in and out. You're frozen at the moment? Okay. Yeah, you're frozen. Okay, Becky, well, here's what I'm going to suggest. See if you can maybe come out and come back in, but if nothing else, please post your comments and stuff. I know you had incredible stuff to say to the room. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat for the page itself. Oh, there you are. You're coming out again. Let's see if you can talk in.
Okay. So fear to me is the biggest thing that will immobilize you in all your life. Whatever, you've just got to look at, do I want more of what I'm thinking about? Because you're going to attract it tenfold. I guess my whole, growing up was a lot of suffering. I'm surprised I'm not in a mental hospital. I had to go through that. But yeah, no, it's you will attract it. So you just need to put it on one side. Do those things, to face it constantly on a daily basis. It's just a limiting mindset that is just keeping you stuck. And a big wake up, your kids are going to absorb it. They're going to feel it. They're going to repeat it. So, be kind on yourself. When you feel it coming in, get an elastic band on your wrist, flick it. It's a cognitive technique. I got taught when I had to go and see shrinks and everything. And it's a bit like, wake up.
Oh, Becky, you're doing it again. Okay. Yeah, Becky, you're cutting in and out again. Here's what I'm gonna suggest is put because you have some great ideas.
I'm putting it down on the Hangout site right now.
Yeah, you have some great ideas, but also come in and go into on our chat. Come back, maybe go back out. Literally, go back out of the chat and come back out on the panel and come back in. But then also type your thoughts and everything into the chat so that everybody else can hear, because you have some amazing tips and stuff. So right now I'm going to pass it on over to Lucy. Lucy, you're up next, hon.
Hi.
Hey.
Really interesting comments coming through you ladies. It's really good. I've got notes coming out my ears here. It's great. Yeah, my fears range from everything from personal through to the daft one, like flying. I had to get on 3 aeroplanes to where we went recently and 3 back, and I was terrified, absolutely terrified. But Elizabeth mentioned earlier on about making negative decisions in the past that have impacted on the children. Now, I won't go into detail, but I made a decision that I thought was good for them, and it basically ended in 20 years of hell. One little decision. Now that, having been in an aggressive relationship and suffering abuse and assault, it knocks your confidence, and you'll go into yourself. You kind of close down. You keep yourself quiet so as not to attract anything more. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. I got to the stage where I was so emotionally battered that I just thought that everybody was judging me, and I mean everybody. I couldn't walk in the street without thinking that this person was in conspiracy with that person, that they were both conspiring against me. It really got quite severe at one time, and I mean things like the PTSD was mentioned. I've been diagnosed with that fairly recently. I've had a few unfortunate accidents. My house was part demolished. I had 2 write-off car crashes all within the space of 2 years. I nearly lost my house to repossession, and I just got to the stage where I suddenly realised, my God, am I attracting this? My thought process is becoming so negative. It was like, what is next? What's coming next? And I was preparing myself for the worst all the time. Preparing myself for the worst constantly. Just the fear of making any changes or making any decisions in case they were wrong just kept me in one place for years and years. And I knew that people were watching my life, and people were making their decisions about my worthiness down to my decisions. And it just got to the stage where I just locked myself mentally away from everything and everybody. But I got into you get into a comfort zone, don't you? You find your comfort zone and you stay there. You stay there. But fear, I mean, you've all heard it. Fear is basically false evidence appearing real. Mm-hmm. False evidence appearing real, and it really is false. Mm-hmm. The majority of what we think about ourselves and what we're scared of, it's completely false. It's not real. So I made a decision a couple of years ago. I made the decision that I did not want to be in that mental state any longer, and I shook myself out of it. I made a decision. Aaron Rashkin said something very poignant very recently. I think we all saw that. Aaron Rashkin hit on people making excuses. I'm too ill to do this. I can't do that because I'm sick, and blah blah blah. Sick. I've avoided moving my life forward because of a few health issues in the past. I've not stepped forward again because of health issues. Aaron Rashkin put it. I've got to read this because I can't remember. Aaron Rashkin said, "Sick, self-induced chatter." Self-induced chatter, and that hit me when he said that. That really hit me. And the strangest thing was that after I left that speech and we had a break, I thought about it, and for the rest of that week, I had no pain. For the rest of the week that we were all away recently, I had no pain after he'd said that. I thought it through, and it was gone. Mm-hmm. It was phenomenal. It's just false evidence appearing real. Yep. All of it. Absolutely. And the one thing I do, ladies, when I feel stressed or angry or annoyed, I sing my little heart out, and I sing my little heart out to the world, and I don't care who hears it. I don't care. I'll change my song if they don't like the song, but I will sing. And it's always something that's a repeated melody because it's calming and it's soothing, and you get into a flow, and it's just it's like you're dancing, Becky. You mentioned dancing, I think. It's just, get into that mental state where you just calm yourself down. It's the best therapy in the world. Best therapy in the world. Music. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love it.
Can't be good.
I love it, Lucy. You're such an inspiration. It's so cool. That's so cool. I'm going to pass it on. I'm just like, I think you really just reached a lot of people. I think you was really.
Hope so.
We're kind of the halfway point across the panel. I just want to see, do we have anybody who's checking the panel? Do we see what do we have going in terms of any comments on the panel? Any thoughts, questions, comments, anything? Gabrielle, do you see anything? Or CJ? I think you guys were looking at our chat before. Elizabeth, anything on there?
Sarita says hi.
Sarita!
We can hang out.
Yeah.
Angie says, "Hey sisters, hopping on a bit late. Just got back. Yeah. from the hospital. Great panel. Blessings so much to you, Angie. Ariana, I think, was just showing us how to pronounce her name.
Caribbean.
And we're just saying hello. Leslie saying hello. I think we mentioned, yeah, there's just kind of shouting out. People are shouting out. Please say hi, you know, and write comments, especially if you're going to check, you know, if you're watching the replay. We do come back and chat. I'm actually just writing some stuff in there now because I know we haven't got time to come back to me. So go and check those out later too.
Cool. Moving over to Michelle. Oh, unmuting. She's unmuting. Here we go.
All right. Hear me now?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. I don't know why I always get butterflies before I speak. I'm still working on that because what I've experienced this past week myself in a breakthrough has taken me about 7 years to get to. So I kind of had some notes here, but then also have something I think that we could apply and use that I've recently found that is really neat. So I'm looking forward to getting to that part. But for me, with fear, I don't believe, for most of my life, I probably had normal fears, but after losing my mom and realizing just in kind of studying and looking for answers that a lot of times not dealing with grief, which is definitely what I did, I avoided it until I just was kind of unable to avoid it anymore or any longer. You know, that it resulted in fears. I lost my mom in 2008, and then in 2010, I got pregnant with my son, and early in my pregnancy, my doctor thought I was about to lose him, so I was put on bed rest. And of course, in that time, I was thinking, God, I lost my mom, but I can't lose this baby, or you may as well just take me. You know, you may as well take me now because I'll be done. I'm not going to, how can I come back from that? I just didn't feel like I could survive. And of course, being a mom and not having my mom around and all the new mommy things that I think as a woman, we would turn to our mom or turn to another woman. You know, for me, if my mom were here, I definitely would have had her ear on the phone constantly with questions and just, you know, sharing my experience and getting her advice, and I didn't have that. And, you know, so really, and also physically, the emotions and everything that our bodies go through being pregnant and the responsibility for this brand new life is just so overwhelming. So a lot of fears really came about, I think, at that point in time when I thought I was going to lose my son, my pregnancy, and then becoming a mom and all that grief I had suppressed just compounded, and I couldn't shut it down anymore. It was starting to come out. It was manifesting in other ways in my life. It created stomach issues for me, headaches, insomnia, ridiculousness, you know. So for me, it was just really trying to identify the source of that fear, which I was able to do. And then also another good thing is like you say, Val, you know, these are not our thoughts. You don't have to own these thoughts. And reading, actually, I say reading, but you can get the book. I do the audio books a lot. And Outwitting the Devil and Overcoming the Enemy were two great books that kind of set me on that, you know, realizing like these are not my thoughts. These are thoughts of the enemies. But I mean, we live in a world, it's very evident there's good, there's bad going on. You know, whether you want to call it, you know, God and the devil, you know, our inner divine spirit, the enemy, whatever. But we always see good and bad forces at work in our lives, in the media. We know that it's there. And to me, I just like, you know, the easiest way that the enemy can get to us is through our mind by evoking fear. And that's what these two books. So if you want to really kind of dive into whose thoughts these really are and release the ownership of those thoughts, I really recommend them. One of them, I believe it's Outwitting the Devil, is Napoleon Hill. I want to say Overcoming the Enemy is Joel Osteen is the author. So definitely out of a tragedy, you know, the death and loss of my mom, or maybe it's a disease or an illness, the media, whatever it is, that source that likes to you know, open the door to those fearful thoughts. You know, there's definitely an enemy present that is trying to reduce us to nothing through fear. So that's where I realized the source of my fear was, not just, these are not my thoughts. I don't need to accept them. Then what am I going to do about it? Because it was very frustrating. It's like, okay, I realized that for myself, but then how do I stop? How do I change this? How do I get these thoughts, these fearful thoughts out of my mind and not become part of my normal thinking? And because definitely we don't want to pass this on to our children. I don't want my son to be, living his life in fear. It's paralyzing, and it does release, toxic chemicals in our body. It's not healthy. I think we all know that. And so it came to me, and Lucy, I love that you sing. I do a lot of times, especially I think my only quiet moments are like in the shower when no one can bother me. And that's when a lot of these realizations kind of came to me, or I'll sing. And one of the songs that kind of came to me in the chorus is I Surrender All. And it kind of hit me. I'm like, why did this song come to me? And then I realized I need to surrender my ego. I need to surrender myself. I'm not in this alone. There is a divine presence. There's a divine spirit that we have within us, whatever your source is, if you want to call it God, your inner voice, that inner spirit that's in you, your intuition that gives you that awareness, that knowledge that, when you really open up and you surrender yourself and get out of your own way, when you start really being open to receive this divine wisdom. And so that's what I did. I'm like, you know what, that's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to control my situation, thinking that I had to fix it, but feeling powerless to do that. And I realized I have to just surrender. I have to turn this over to my higher power that is my source, to fill myself with that positivity will leave no room for the negative thoughts. And I came across an amazing book because I was going, okay, I've got my new Audible credit. What book am I going to find? What good stuff can I fill myself with to keep this, these negative, fearful thoughts out of my head? And I came across an article that kept. It was just a one-page copy or like Xerox copy. And when I read the article again, I was like, this lady actually wrote a book. This lady is Janet Connor, and she has a book called Writing Down Your Soul. And it's incredible. It kind of covers almost everything that I have been, that's been revealed to me just through learning from each of you. It can, I don't know, it's fascinating. I encourage everyone to do this. And if I could just read a couple little excerpts from this little article, and then, I honestly, if you guys check out this book, you're going to be amazed. And since we also are involved in blogging and a lot of building a business, building your life, everything, you kind of have to really get in touch and connect with yourself. That's the foundation for me. I realized that in order for me to be able to reach out to other people and have them connect with me, I have to be connected to myself. I have to really be open and aware and listening to that inner voice, my, inner spirit, and that divine wisdom that I am open to receive. So this is called soul writing, and it says, set your intention to connect with spirit, write by hand. The importance about writing by hand is that it does converge, it connects the left and right side of the brain, and you actually create new neural pathways. So the ones, that the negative from all that time you're just in that rut, you're literally changing the chemistry in the way that your left and right side of your brain communicates by physically writing. And it's amazing when you start writing and you're asking these questions, just open-ended questions, what comes through, what you find yourself writing down. You get a lot of answers that way. And so it says the computer keeps you in conscious mind, and you want to get out of your stress-filled conscious mind. Write directly to spirit using your favorite name. Speak from the heart. Write fast. Writing fast gets you out of the way so spirit can break through. Ask questions. Open-ended questions are the magic that activates that voice, that inner voice. And as your conversation for the day ends, say thank you. Be grateful for the experience. And so that voice that is inside you, that's greater than you, it is spirit. And it's the limitless source of wisdom, creativity, guidance, and grace. It is also you. The voice is spirit in you. And the voice is unmistakable, and it's unconditional love. And it says, would you like to hear that sweet voice of love? Pick up a pen, say, I'm here. The voice will find you. Hello, beloved. It will say, welcome to the conversation that never ends. It just goes deeper and deeper to your whole, authentic, holy self. And I'm so glad you're here. Let's talk. And this, again, this is from Janet Connor, and it's called Writing Down Your Soul. And what I found is it's just this amazing exercise. You really can get in touch with what's going on inside. And I've gotten a lot of answers in doing this. And I think, you know, fear to me has been like a disease. And it has really been a paralyzing disease for me for 7 years. And when I really realized that, you know, I'm not alone, it's not me, there is another, you know, there's strength inside of me that I can tap into that I just have not been tapping into by thinking I have to do this, I have to figure it out and control it and fix it all myself. But when we get out of the way and we allow that, you know, we listen to that inner voice that we all have, the answers that we're seeking, they're there. We just really have to know how to tap into that wisdom to access that, and then listen. And then finally, when you get those answers, you take the action. You know, it's always action. You can't just sit there and read something and think, oh, okay, well, that makes sense, but not act on it to, you know, be present and to take the steps, because we're not robots. We're living, we're beings. We have a purpose. And that's you know, my that's really what I believe, you know, when we go through these trials and when we're overcoming fears and we're overcoming, you know, illnesses and challenges in our life, if we're just that, you know, just sit still and listen to that inner voice, that quiet, you know, be still and listen and really, you know, get out of the way and open yourself up to getting that divine wisdom. It'll come to you. But I really have found that with the soul writing as an exercise, it's been a really powerful way for me to kind of get those answers. And it's incredible. It's really interesting and unique that as you're writing, you might see like your handwriting changes, and then that whatever that message or whatever you're writing down, you know, when you're reading it back or looking at it, it's a crazy conversation. It's hard to explain unless you really experience it. So I hope that some of you, you know, might check that out and that it would help you the way it's helped me. Because honestly, you know, for 7 years, I feel like I've kind of tormented myself living in this fearful state of what ifs. Yeah. And you know, 99.9% of the time, these what ifs never happen. And you miss out on life, you damage your health, you can hurt relationships, you can pass on, you know, these bad habits to your children who are lurking and learning from you. And so really it's recognizing that there is a strength and a power that is greater than us, but dwells within us. And we have access to that same power. And that power is very strong, and it enables us to do what we need to do to live our purpose, because we each have a purpose here on this earth, and we have to get out of our own way and let ourselves experience that journey that we're here for. And so for me, not making it to Vegas was a huge disappointment, but I was able to see my dad and visit with him and going to church with him that weekend. He and I stayed up till about 1 o'clock in the morning talking, but I came across this, you know, this book, and have been listening to it and journaling, and really kind of just had another huge aha moment. And like, you know, I surrender all. I surrender this fear. I don't need to own it. I don't need to accept it. I've found that I'm having less fearful thoughts come into my mind, and as soon as I have one, I'm like, I know how to deal with you. You know, I don't accept you. I push it out of my way. I focus on something else positive. And I realized that this negative voice, all it's trying to do is bring me down and keep me from living my purpose. And I'm so dedicated and committed to that purpose that it's like now I'm in fight mode. Like, I am not going to let you take me down. You're not going to beat me. I know how to, you know, to fight back. And I'm going to share these tools with a bunch of people. Of course, that that negative side of that, the spirit or just ourselves is going to try to tear you down and tell you can't do it. And with this, I found that it's empowered me to look at it in a different way, to realize and accept that I have that power in me, and I can utilize it. I can tap into it at any given time that I want, and how powerfully strong it is. It can transform my life, and it can transform the people that I'm hoping to connect with. But it has. It's been very huge for me, and I hope that you guys can enjoy it as well, because I think it's good therapy too. Everyone has their own way of handling things, but I do believe in what I've experienced here recently, just by what I've heard from this book and what I've practiced, just with the soul writing, that you really get to know yourself, and you just realize how amazing you are and what you're capable of. And it's a neat way to, when you don't think you can hear that inner voice, or you don't feel like, I didn't feel connected to my own self. I was having a hard time writing a blog because I felt like I was on the outside of myself watching this horror film and didn't really know how to connect with myself again, and I've been able to do that. So I have a completely amazing sense of peace that I haven't had since before I lost my mom, and it's been a long time coming, but I finally am experiencing that, and it's wonderful, and it completely changes your whole life. And like Gabrielle said, when you open up and you're aware and you embrace that, your whole life changes and things start happening. And I believe that's because you've gotten out of your way, and you, like Sarita says, a lot of times you lose the ego, that wanting to control your life in that situation. And you have to realize you're not the only one in control. You have power, but there's a higher power that we have access to that is going to do everything in its power to help us live our purpose. But we have to get out of the way. We complicate those matters. So let's get out of our way, and really allow ourselves to have access to that power to live our purpose, because each of us have amazing experiences, some good, some bad, but where we've all grown from them and can share and connect with other people that need somebody, because we're not alone. We have each other, and we have that spirit, that divine spirit and wisdom within us. And it's just sharing that message and being that testimony to other people that are going through the test. And I think another thing, and I'll wrap it up because I know we've got a lot of people, and I want to share the time. But that, what we have here with the system and our, our friends and the people that we're meeting as we're building our business and networking and learning and teaching, is that it's an amazing way to change the world. We are subjected to so much negativity outside of our homes, in our TVs, if we let that into our homes, and there's so much. And I think with the personal development and the focus on, being better ourselves and helping other people, to be their best self and to literally change the world, we can do that. We have the power, and I feel it's our responsibility, especially if we want to do something for our children. We got to think about the world that they're going to live in. If we don't make these changes ourselves, what are we leaving behind for our kids? What kind of world, what kind of struggles are they going to go through? We need to teach them these tools that empower them. And that's what I love so much about, what we have here and what we do, is that we empower each other, and we learn and we love and support. And it's a great, I just think it's a beautiful thing we have here. And I'm blessed to have learned and know each of you and have these friendships, because each one of y'all have always, I've said it so many times, but have played a part in my own healing, and what I've learned from you has been a stepping stone to get me to this point. So I thank each and every one of you for being, sharing your stories, and being authentic and transparent, and the people that you can reach, through the web. We may not know who we help, but I know it's helping, somebody. It'll get to that person that needs to hear it.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Michelle, he's asking for Joel. What was the name of the Joel Osteen book?
The Joel Osteen book sorry, bear with me. I'm going to look at my Oh, thank you. We'll
Michelle, you were exactly where you needed to be at the weekend. You're exactly where you needed to be. Like, don't feel like we're like, oh, I didn't go, I wasn't here, but you were meant to have that experience, and it's so beautiful.
I was feeling that way, and even Vashon told me, like, you need to reframe that, you know, and after I thought about that and was, you know, at my dad's and experienced what I did and coming to this awareness and finally feeling a peace that I've been searching for and hoping for and almost begging for in my prayers, you know, I did find it, and I realized that's why I thought, oh, I suck at law of attraction. You know, I was going to manifest this plane ticket. I was going to be in Vegas. I'm going to jump off that stratosphere.
You wanted a transformation, and you got it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's slightly different. But, you know, I mean,
it's songwriting.
So what was the name of the book?
The name of the book is called Power Over the Enemy. That's Joel Osteen. And then, of course, the one Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill. If anyone has gone through Think and Grow Rich or anything Napoleon Hill, know that this man, what he shared was, I'm glad it's out in our time now, but he definitely, the way he thought and what he had to share was probably, you know, not meant for people of his time, but, you know, but for us now, because, you know, we're in a world now where we need revolution and we need positive, you know, change. There's so much negativity, and I think what we all have here and what we can share and what journey, where we're at in our journey, what we can share with the world is going to change. I mean, we can literally change the world. We can leave a better world for our children and for the generations to come by what we're doing now. That's what this is so powerful. But yes, I definitely recommend that. And honestly, and if you're stumped in writing too with your blog, I have been, because I didn't have that connection. This writing down your soul, it pulls in so much of the, you know, like what we've been sharing here through our hangouts. I was just amazed. I was like, oh my gosh, I know this because I've heard it and I've learned about this already, and it almost has all come together in this one book for me. It's blown my mind, really, because I'm like, this is not an accident. I was meant to find this book, and how it has touched on every single thing that I think that we have shared over the course of the last several weeks or months is mentioned in here, and it kind of puts a pretty bow on it. And I think it's just good, you know. It's a useful tool, like Elizabeth has, you know, for the PTSD, right? Is that it? Post-traumatic stress. You know, it's another useful tool, I think, with soul writing, because you have a release, and then you can go back. But when you set that intention that it's not just you're writing your thoughts, you're having a conversation with, you know, with your inner spirit, with that divine spirit. There's a conversation going on. You'll get some realization, and it's very powerful. So I hope, you know, I'd love to hear any of you that do go through that and experience that. I would love to hear what you have, you know, learned through doing some soul writing.
Absolutely, that's so powerful. I hope the other Elizabeth pops back on. Becky popped off. I'm going to just read out some of the stuff that Becky wrote out here on the side. She's going to do a blog about it, but I want to share it. She wrote it here in our chat. She said, "Fear will keep you stuck." And it's just so powerful, Michelle. Really powerful. Fear will keep you stuck, period. Choose to put it on ice. You have the power to rewire the brain. And this is Becky talking. She says, the clients I work with also have deep patterns set in their physical body, and I move them through a process of fear reactivity. OMG, so much info to share. This is the passion, as you can see. The fear hides out in the body. In the PSOAS, which is the seat of love. It is also where fear is lurking. It will hide at all costs. It does not want to be found. It will give excuses. It will hold you hostage, baby. So the body work I do is something I'll share with others. This is releasing from a very gentle and deep level. Even now, when I do it on myself, I cry and release and laugh all at once. Pin ID, fear leaving the body, love you all, I'm here to serve. And she is going to do a blog on it. Just want to quickly share that. And she said she wrote that so fast she'd rather structure it. So stay tuned. Anybody connecting? Yes, it's me time before the kids when I awake. She meditates. And big love to all of you all. And that's another thing too, is this waking up in the morning meditation. For me, I woke up and I realized I was kind of behind. I had to get the page set up while I was getting ready. I love, I went into, actually I was physically at Agape last night with Kathy, but agapelive.com, you go there are archives. You can either watch live, there's archives around the world. Michael Bernard Beckwith from The Secret talks a lot of very positive affirmations and singing. That's the thing, like Lucy, I would sing. So he does that, they do at the beginning, they do singing, and they're singing the affirmations, because depending on what you sing, you're actually, there's something vibrational that happens in your body. I think that's why it works for you. I was singing the affirmation songs that they're doing. One of those, I release, I let go, I let spirit run my life. And for me, just for those of you, because I know there are some people that maybe they come from different backgrounds, and talking about, I think some of what Michelle was talking about with spirit, or divine, it can be just the essence of who you are, the essence of love, essence of the entire universe. If that helps for some of you. For me, it did, because I had a big issue from some childhood upbringing that I had with respect to organized, any kind of thing that could be called religion. But for me, that's where it sits, and that it's coming from this really powerful internal place of what is love, the connection of the entire universe, whatever name you want to call it, released from the terminology of it. And I personally don't believe there's anything out there trying to get me. I don't believe in an evil. I don't believe in a devil. That's just me. I'm just going to release it and say it out there for those folks that don't believe in it either. I do believe that there are thoughts out there, and we are in our bodies. We have the capacity. We are receivers, and we pick it up unconsciously. So when somebody has a negative thought, we are on this planet. There's a lot of contrast. We're these energy beings that are in these physical bodies, these divine beings in these bodies. And we're here for a reason, and we do have a deep purpose. And being able to separate from, not be stuck in that reptilian brain. We have the power to have this incredible capacity in our brains, which when you do write and you do write things out, you can actually access who we really are. And for me, it's been about remembering who I really am and not buying into those negative thoughts, because I did for years. My God, a lot of you know, I tried to kill myself from the time I was age 10. That's me seriously buying into negative thoughts and buying into negative feelings and not realizing that they're not reality. They're just someone's thoughts out there. They're just someone's thoughts out there. So whatever you're going through, it's just someone's thoughts. They're not real. It's not. And we've got a lot of tips in here. Connect with the people. Connect with whoever brought you here. And if some of this is resonating with you, but if you're still watching this, I have to say it really is. We do have a lot of this. We communicate a lot on the inside as well. That you can connect with us below and really plug into our community. My little guy just came in. Hi, sweetheart. So anybody last thoughts that want to hop out? I know, Gabriella, I think you said you wanted to add something more on here. Did you?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, just for, even just for a minute, I don't know everyone's beliefs kind of listening and watching, but, if you were just to think for a minute that you are a spiritual being and we're actually having a human experience,
yeah.
Anything truly is possible, and, we're being guided by them. We're just kind of like, it sounds silly to say maybe like a puppet, but not a puppet. I don't mean it like that, but I just mean that if we just let that inner self guide us, it's only going to want the best for us, and it wants us to learn our purpose. It wants us to have an amazing life.
Yeah.
So when you're not having that, you're not listening to that, your heart, that inner self. So yeah, that's my little bow. Also,
Gabrielle, like you said, to live in love, because there is no, fear in love. And I think that, if you wanted to break it down very simply, is live in love. And I love when you said that, because it is. That's really the fundamental essence of, like you said, our spiritual being is, creation is out of love. When we create our children, it was out of love. And that is, love is very powerful and makes everything possible. So yeah, it doesn't have to be, a religious belief necessarily, just a way of life. How much happier and healthier everyone could be if we just did something like that. That sounds so simple in its phrase. Practicing it.
We're here, and Terry just popped in because we had some. There's only room on the panel for 10 people at once, and some folks said.
I'm gonna hop off too in case there's anybody that needs to hop back on. But everyone, have a blessed and beautiful day. I love you all, and I'll talk to you soon.
Gonna do it.
Love you, Michelle. Bye, Mama.
Thank you guys. I gotta get to bed.
Bye, Michelle. Bye.
Okay, and Terry, oh my God, Terry, come out, introduce yourself. What time of day is it for you, girl? You're like, she's in Australia there. Say hi.
Hello. I gotta go, guys.
Love you.
Good night. Hello. Good night.
Thank
you.
Good night, Gabrielle. Miss you.
Gabrielle.
So Terry, come out, introduce yourself, where you are, and then I know you've been watching. Hop in on this conversation. I'm so glad.
I'm here in Australia. It's 2 a.m. and I had a little alarm glitch, so that's why I was a little bit late. So I'm a mum of 3 gorgeous boys. I live right next to the rainforest on the east coast of Australia, and it's just such a joy to be here with you women. It really is. Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm so glad you're here. We've been talking, our topic is overcoming fear and self-sabotage. And we've all had a chance to speak, and you've hopped on here. So what would be your advice or your experience of, how you've overcome fear and self-sabotage in your life?
Well, one of the big things for me has been fear of judgment, fear of, I guess, rejection or judgment by other people. And so stepping into this online space and, sharing myself online, I've just had this real fear of people judging me, or misunderstanding what I'm doing. And so overcoming that fear has been a really big thing for me. And even just in the last week when we're over I went to Vegas and saw a few of you, even then I had a big breakthrough. It's something I've been working on for a while, but it was literally, this is my advice to anyone, I literally just allowed myself to drop into my heart more and share more, my more vulnerable self, share from my heart more, share my vision, just let myself share the power of my vision.
Yeah.
And connect in so deeply with my why, my children, care for this planet, and that felt like such a breakthrough, just to let go of those fears, and it was amazing. As soon as I did that and let myself cry on my video and put that out, the reception, just straight out likes, comments, shares from people I don't know and people that I do know, just beaming love at me, There was no judgment. It was so obvious and so clear that when we share from our heart, when we're connected with our why, in a really deep way, and just let that come out in a really, really authentic, kind of vulnerable way, my gosh, there's just no place for fear there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a big one for me. Yeah. And because I come from an activist background, or an environmental caretaker kind of background, upbringing around rainforest protection and around protection for this earth, around fracking and coal seam gas stuff is a really big focus. And there's been this sense of if I'm focusing, if I'm not doing the activities that help care for the planet, if I'm focusing on my business, that somehow it's taking away from that. And there's been this fear, fear for the planet, fear for what our children are going to inherit. And it's meant that I've actually been, just fearful to go and put my energy into my business. And that's just another fear. Overcoming an obstacle there is realizing that and meeting so many more people who have given their time and love and energy into their business, say, and just got that absolutely flourishing, and now actually have the time and the financial freedom to give back in a bigger way. So I realized me focusing on the fear of not doing enough for our planet and splitting myself from giving the love and attention to my business, which is as well sharing my message of caring for our planet and our kids, that it's all interconnected, and that fear of splitting is just making me less effective in my work for the world. So that's a big one as well, just recognizing just staying heart congruent to all of that, and knowing that we're just unfolding and making a difference in so many different ways, each one of us.
What would you say would be because you jump past your fear, you step past it into taking action, into speaking your vision in your heart. What would you say helped you to be able to do that? So if you were to give advice to somebody about how they could do that for themselves, to be able to share their vision and do that and step to the place that you've stepped into.
Well, one is witnessing other people doing it, and that's just gives me courage, like Sarita, and other people who just share their vision so beautifully. And it is a bit of a leap of faith. It was a bit of like, I'm recognizing people are going to judge me. People are going to judge me, and I just can't let that hold me back from my purpose, or from the difference I want to make in the world and for my children. And so it was almost just this sense of, I guess just accepting that there will be judgment and there will be non-judgment, and either way, it can't stop me from just living a vibrant life. So it was an internal shift. It was just an internal shift of that. I just felt my fear just kind of, there was just a bit of space, and I just jumped through the door or something like that. It just created enough space in my heart and my mind to not worry about that. And I just like skydived through there and was like, I'm just going to share myself, and that's it. And I don't think there's any going back now.
I love it.
Yeah.
This kind of analogy. And anybody else? I'm so glad you're able to come out and come out with us and share that too. And anybody else here on the panel? Any last thoughts? Let's see if there's anything in the chat. Elizabeth, do you see anything in the chat?
I've been trying to go back and forth. Oh, sorry, CJ.
CJ, do you see something in the chat?
Oh, no, I'm not in the chat anymore. But I was going to say to Terry that I met Terry for the very first time this week, and we were together on Saturday night. And Terry, I was so proud of you because it was our first time meeting, and you instantly were warm with me. You were caring. We started talking immediately about our boys. You whipped out your phone. You were showing me pictures, and you just have a very warm, caring, loving soul about you. And it just, for me to meet with you privately on Saturday night and have that one-on-one conversation about our families, it was so memorable for me, and I really truly got to see you as a real person. And you've, just within the few days that I was able to watch you grow over the internet, and then, like I said, meeting you in person, I could see the change in you from the time you at the beginning of the week till Saturday night. It was great for me to experience that, and then ending the week meeting you in person. So I just want to say I'm very proud of you, and I was able to see it through with just in a week. And keep going, girl. You're very strong. You have a lot to give, and I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
Thank you, CJ.
You're welcome, Terry.
Absolutely. Elizabeth, do you see anything in the chat? Anybody else commenting? Thoughts?
Angie was commenting on how amazing some of the stuff that Michelle was saying. I've been trying to answer things as they come up. Ellen mentioned the Outwitting the Devil book. When Michelle signed off, she put up links to each of the books that she mentioned when she
Oh, great. We got that
was
there.
speaking. Looking for links to find them. She's put links to Facebook pages that are connected to the books. Let's see. We haven't had a lot of people commenting this time, but I'm trying to keep all the comments that are being made on the Hangout listed on the conversation in case someone didn't catch something in the video. I mean, you can catch it on the replay if you care to watch it, but if you don't have the time to watch the replay after already having watched it, we are trying to put all that information down in the conversation as well.
Great.
I just want to quickly say something about, I forget who said about, but saying goodbye to the fear and saying goodbye to your old self. And when you weigh things out, it's kind of like, you know too much now. You have to go forward. You know too much. You know too much about the truth now that the only way to go is to say goodbye to the fear and move forward. So I loved how, I think it was CJ or somebody said, say goodbye to it. You know too much. You know the truth now, and keep going. So
it was CJ.
Love it. Love that, Joan. All right, great. Yeah, so we're at we've gone longer today. This is such a powerful topic. So I just want to say to everybody here, anybody that again be watching the replay, thank you. You're here. You're a part of us. Put your comments, put your thoughts below, and any questions that you have for any of us as well. If you want to connect with us, there's the link below. Connect. If you're still watching us, I'll have to say there's something in you that this is something that really resonates with you. So when you do click, it will connect you to the whoever brought you to this hangout. And you're always welcome. We will be here back next week. And have a wonderful day. Believe in yourself. Know who you really are. And step into your power. Anything is possible, really. See you all next week.